This is a sharpness battle. We will test two lenses that are very similar, and at the ending of this clip, we will find out which one wins. First, let me tell you a few things about our lenses. The first lens is the Canon EF-M 22mm f2. It was made for Canon's APS-C mirrorless cameras. It's a wide-angle lens that has the full-frame equivalent of 35mm. It's small, lightweight, and has a tiny front element. The second lens is very similar, the Canon EF-S 24mm f2.8. It was made for Canon's APS-C sensor DSLRs, another wide-angle lens with the full-frame equivalent of 38mm. It also has a tiny front element. These lenses are very similar, so I'm curious to see which one wins. There will be 3 rounds: sharpness in the middle of the image, sharpness in the corners, and diffraction. We will gradually close the aperture to see how the images change. The first round starts now. Let's see the sharpness in the middle of the image. At f2, we only have the 22mm lens that has a good start. Now we see both lenses, f2 on the left and f2.8 on the right. They are pretty much identical when it comes to sharpness at their widest apertures. Closing to f3.2, but no significant improvements. At f3.5, both images look excellent. This is going to be tough. These lenses are very similar. At f4, again, no sharpness differences for the two sides, and it stays this way until we reach f8. Here, the images are a bit more punchy. The first round ends in a tie. I have to say that I admire the 22mm lens's performance in the middle of the image. Good sharpness at its widest aperture. But still, there are no significant differences in the middle of the image. Let's move in the corner. The second round starts now. At f2, we have the 22mm lens with a rough start. Let's bring in both lenses at their widest apertures. Yes, the 24mm lens is sharper, but it's at f2.8, a much more closed aperture. If we align the lenses at the same setting, looking closer, we see that they are pretty much the same. Closing to f3.2, we see an improvement, but both lenses seem to suffer in the corner of the image because of that tiny front element. At f3.5, again, the two sides look similar. Still not impressive at f4, and finally, a good result for both lenses at f4.5. Image quality continues to improve if we close to f5.6. It seems that, again, we have no winner. The two lenses continue to show the same performance until we reach f10. If some of you saw some differences, you can write them in the comment section. But still, we can all agree on the fact that there is no clear winner. Let's see if the third round is decisive, the diffraction. When we close the aperture too much, our images will become softer. Let's see which lens handles diffraction better. Both have the same performance at f10, but let's close now to f11. You might say that the 22mm lens lost this fight. But no, the left side is just a bit more lit. They still have the same sharpness amount. At f13, again, same sharpness. Okay guys, now this is the moment when one of them will lose. Closing to f14 and the 22mm lens shows poor sharpness. If we close down to f16, the right side isn't looking too good either, but the left side looks worse. At f18, the 22mm lens clearly lost this fight. Of course, if we close even more due to diffraction, both images will be too soft. So we have a winner, the 24mm lens that barely won this fight because it handles diffraction better. Still, I have to give kudos to the 22mm lens for having such good sharpness in the middle of the image at its widest aperture. There will be more videos like this one where I will test more lenses. If you enjoyed it, press that like button, consider subscribing, and see you on the next one.